Welcome back to the Plot Twist Unfiltered. Today's episode is just me. No guest, no story about someone else. This episode is about accountability. I want to start by saying this. When I'm in a dark place, sometimes I start drama or I find myself in it. I'm not proud of that, but I own it. When I'm depressed or overwhelmed, I don't always handle things the right way, and instead of pausing, sometimes I react. And that's on me. I also want to take accountability for something else. Sometimes I tell white lies. They're small, but they're still lies. And the truth is, a lot of the time, it's because I don't remember things the way other people do. My brain doesn't always retain conversation details or what I've said. Instead of being honest and saying I don't remember, I've tried to fill in the gaps, and that's not okay. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be. And the other thing I do is, like, let's say I'm wearing the color green, I'd be like I'm wearing blue. Like it's little small stupid white lies, but they're still wrong because they're small, and it's still a lie, and it's still wrong. So I'm owning it. I'm taking accountability because I'm becoming a better version of myself and becoming a better person, and I want my kids to be a better person as well, and I don't want to teach them my mistakes. I want them to be better than me. Sometimes I'm hard to get along with. I don't like being wrong, and when I feel like I'm right, I argue, I make my point, and sometimes I make it to everyone. I involve people when I shouldn't. I turn things bigger than they need to be, and I own that. The truth is, the first step to change is accountability. Is looking yourself in the mirror and saying, you're the problem. You can't blame your parents forever. You can't blame your past forever. You can't blame your life you were given. When you're grown, the only person left to blame is yourself. That's hard to admit, but it's real. I don't want my kids to grow up repeating my mistakes. I want them to be better than me. I want them to know how to handle emotions. I want them to grow up slower, not forced to mature too fast like I did. I let my kids be kids because I don't want them carrying what I carried. And the only way I can teach them that is by owning my mistakes. The Bible teaches us not to gossip, and I'll be honest, I've fallen into that. I know I have. I'm learning to stop. I'm choosing to not do that anymore. I'm learning to take accountability for my actions fully. I'm also learning not everyone is meant to stay in your life. You need people who tell you when you're messing up. Not people who encourage it, not people secretly praying on your downfall. I've lost people, and that's okay. Some friendships weren't good to me, and some people didn't correct me when I was wrong. In some situations, I messed up because I didn't remember conversations, repeated myself, and unintentionally restarted problems. And I don't excuse it, but I own up. I do own it. So if you're listening to this, if I've ever hurt you, wronged you, involved you, or even told you a stupid white lie, whether it was the smallest little white lie, I take accountability. I sincerely apologize. I'm working on me, and I'm becoming a better person. God granted me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Before I end, I want to say one thing. I had to grow up way too fast. I had to grow up way too fast. And I took care of everyone else. And what I mean by that is I was always there for everyone else, and I took care of everyone else instead of taking care of me, which led me to not learn how to deal with my emotions. It led me not to know how to deal with certain things. So instead of pausing and taking a break, I reacted. In most of my situations, I always react before I take a break. And I'm owning that. And I'm learning to do better. I'm learning to not react, and I'm learning to grow. And that's hard for me to admit out loud because I've always been the one to take care of everyone else, and I never had to deal with my issues. I never had to deal with my problems, and that's because I had people to take care of. And now that I only have my kids to take care of, and I really don't have my husband to take care of anymore because he's fine on his own now, and he doesn't need me to advocate for him. He doesn't need help anymore, like with his triggers. He doesn't need any of that. He's good on his own. I don't have anyone else to help with their triggers or to help them in any type of way. So I'm learning how to deal with my emotions. I'm learning how to be me without having to take care of anybody. I'm learning how to deal with life without taking care of anyone but my kids. And it's been a struggle and it's been hard. I've had bumps in the road. I've gossiped. I've started drama. I've ended up in drama. I've told little white lies. And they're the dumbest things too. But I'm owning it and I'm taking accountability and I'm trying to grow better and do better so that my kids don't end up like me because I want them to be better. So that is why this episode, I decided to do this because I don't have anyone to take care of. So now I got to deal with my issues and my problems that I've buried for years and years. And yeah, sure, I talk to a therapist and I tell my therapist everything, but that I only talked to a therapist. I never handled my emotions or actually dealt with them because I always was dealing with everybody else and taking care of everyone. And now I'm not taking care of no one but the kids. So now I got to learn how to take care of myself. Not only that, I have to learn patience. I have to learn extra patience with my son because he's autistic and nonverbal. And that right there is a struggle for me because it's something all new for me that I don't know nothing about and that I'm learning step by step. And it is a mission, but I'm learning and I'm taking the time and I'm even trying to do sign language and learn sign language, which is pretty hard, but I'm learning and I'm trying. And that's all that matters is that I'm learning and trying to grow better. I may not be the perfect person. I may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I am trying. I am trying to do better because I want my kids to do better. And I know that sometimes when I'm feel like I'm right, I have to I don't know how to explain it. Like I said in the earlier, when I'm right, I argue. And I'm like, no, this is not how it is. This, and this is how it is. And this, and this, and this. So I'm learning not to be like that no more. I'm learning how to say, you know what? Let me not always be right. Let me listen to someone else and their point of view about me or about the situation. And I don't always have to be right about every situation. And that's also what I'm learning as well, which is hard to say out loud. It is a mission, but I'm learning and I'm changing my friends. Like I've only have a few friends that I actually stay with me that I've known since back in the day. And they've been my closest friends to me. And they actually tell me when I'm messing up. And I appreciate them and they know who they are. And then there's people that don't tell me. Like they don't say anything. They just encourage it. And that's not what I need in my life. I need people that's going to tell me when I'm messing up. Because sometimes we don't see it. Sometimes we don't see what we're doing wrong. And we have to look outside the box, or we have to take a step outside of our shoes and look in someone else's eyes. And then that's when you see, oh man, I am the problem. Or, man, I did do that. Or I did say that. Like, what the heck? So that's what I'm learning. And it is hard, it is scary, but I'm doing it. And I'm taking accountability. Even if it's old accountability, like way back in the day when I was younger, I'm still owning it right now because I don't ever think I owned any of my mistakes. I don't think I've owned anything, not even when I was a kid, so I'm owning it right now. So this could be old that I'm talking about, it could be new that I'm talking about, whatever the case may be, I'm owning it today, all of it. In the past, when I was a child, a young adult now, I'm owning it all. Thank you. This is a Plot Twist Unfiltered accountability, and that's it for now.